You good if I start? Cool.
Hello. Ooh. That'll wake you up, huh? How we doing, Atlanta? Yeah, there you go. I mean, we could probably do better. How we doing in Atlanta? There we go. That's what I like to hear. Well, my name's Kevin O'Reilly. I am the executive director at Fulu, and we're really excited to be here. We're so grateful that all of you are here to join us today. I think the reason that we're here today is because at some point, we all fell in love with technology. Raise your hand if you fell in love with technology at some point in your life. Absolutely. What did you love about it?
Video games.
Video games, yeah. You play with them. What else? Make your own stuff, absolutely. You get to tinker, you get to explore that creativity. What else?
Building computers.
Building computers?
From 1990s.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Breaking stuff, right? Yeah, you could break it. You can fix it again. Amen. Amen. Now I'd like to ask you to raise your hand again if you feel like your tech doesn't love you back as much. Right? Something's changed about our relationship with technology, right? This was something that we used for play, we used to connect with people, whether in our own communities or around the world. It was something that we used to work, right, during the pandemic and so much more. But again, our tech doesn't love us back as much. We are now seeing the manufacturers of our devices, the distributors of our content, find every way they can to milk us for another subscription. They use digital locks to prevent us from, we're talking about building our own stuff, modifying our own stuff, breaking our own stuff, fixing our own stuff. We can't do that the way that we used to, and that's a problem. And so we at Fulu believe that there's something absolutely wrong with that, and that it's time that we changed something. It's time that we did something about it, right? Because this wave of enshittification is making us all stink. That was terrible. I'm sorry. I'll work on that. But so today we're going to talk a little bit about a number of things, right? I'm really stoked. We've got the Atlanta Repair Cafe community really strongly represented. So we're going to hear from some of the folks who are doing fixing, who are helping each other, and other members of the community keep stuff out of the landfill, not have to buy a new thing, right? We're going to talk about the Digital Millennium Copyright Act in Section 1201 and how this kind of arcane 1998 law has come to make it so that we don't have the freedom to do the things that we love to do with our technology. And then after that, every single one of you is going to write a postcard to Representative Hank Johnson to tell him how important this idea of controlling your tech, of being able to modify and fix your tech is. So you've got your postcard. We'll be talking more about that later. But let's go ahead and get started. I'd love to invite Rachel and Ari and Mike up to join me. So watch out. And how about a round of applause for the Repair Cafe folks? Sweet. Thanks, y'all. Do that to start. Awesome. Well, I'm a firm believer. I've been working in the right to repair movement for the past 10 years, and I think that the Repair Cafe community is not only the front lines of this fight, but also kind of the beating heart of the repair movement. To start, I would love, Rachel, if you could just tell us a little bit about CHARS, about your work and the work that you're doing to get, bigger and better and more repair cafes throughout the city of Atlanta.
Yeah, so I am with CHARS. It stands for Community Environmental Health. Oh my God. Community Health Aligning Revitalization, Resilience, and Sustainability. It's a bit of a long title, but if you've seen us around Atlanta, we are a very small environmental health organization. And so one facet of what we do is Repair Cafe. It started in the Netherlands and has soon bloomed across the globe. And we don't really have that many in Atlanta. So CHARS is trying to jumpstart repair cafes across the city. We actually have a strong one in Athens that has been established much before. It's a bit of an inspiration to us at CHARS. So...
Could you tell me a little bit about how repair cafes work and kind of what they do and how they serve the community?
Of course. So Repair Cafe is a free service where we have volunteers that share their skills with the community and fix people's items free of charge. The gist of it is to not only just save things from the landfill, but it's so that you get to meet your neighbors. Our goal, at least in Atlanta, is for these to be hyper-local so that you get to know which of your neighbors know how to fix what in case of a disaster. You get to learn something, you form community bonds. This is very important to us at CHARS for emergency preparedness, which is outside of Repair Cafe, something that CHARS likes to focus on. So we encourage people to come and give their items a second chance at life for a not guaranteed but entirely free repair.
Awesome. I think that's so important. You talk about resilience, right? Like repair is absolutely critical when disaster strikes or something like that. And so building up that community muscle, I think that's so cool and that's so admirable. Next, I want to turn to Ari because you walked into a Repair Cafe one day.
I did. It was probably about a year ago, last summer sometime. CHARS was having a Repair Cafe at the fire station, of all places. Didn't know they had community rooms. And so I had a pair of earrings that I had accidentally put in the washing machine.
Whoops.
And so one of my coworkers was volunteering at the Repair Cafe and said, bring them by, come by, hang out, It was on a Saturday. I wasn't doing anything else. Brought the earrings. She helped me fix the earrings. And then she got me to help some other people fix some other things. And lo and behold, I actually have a little skill at repairing jewelry. So I have put together quite a few necklaces and bracelets and earrings over the last year since I went into that Repair Cafe. And the person that I went to see at that Repair Cafe wanted to start one through our organization. So we work more on the southwest side of Atlanta. We are specifically housed in a place called the Outdoor Activity Center, which is a part of a historic neighborhood called Bush Mountain. So we wanted to name the Repair Cafe Bush Mountain to honor the area and invite the community to become a part of it. And so we've had one Repair Cafe so far this year. We had it as a part of a larger event called Urban Forest Festival. We got a heater fixed. We got some necklaces fixed. And so we are just looking to build on that momentum and find the rest of the folks in our community that are handy or just want to help.
Awesome. That rocks, right? To have the courage to start something from scratch, I think that's just so cool. Did you ever expect that you would develop this skill of jewelry repair?
Absolutely not. During that first summer day, I actually helped resize a watch, not thinking about the fact that 10 years ago, I used to work at a store at the mall, and we had to resize watches all the time. I already knew how to do that.
That's awesome. I love it. Awesome. Thanks, Ari. Yeah. Great. Next, I want to turn to Mike.
Okay.
So, Mike, you have a specialty, right? There's something that you're pretty darn good at?
I don't say I'm very good at it. I do it.
Well, what do you do?
As part of Repair Cafe, I work with both the Atlanta and the Athens Repair Cafe and do mostly electrical and electronic repair for items that come in. So.
That's awesome. How did you kind of get involved in electronics repair?
Well, I had been watching YouTube and watching various makers and people on YouTube fix things, and then they would often mention the Repair Cafe. And then I said, oh, and then I found out it was a worldwide organization. And so there's a website, I believe it's repaircafe.org. You can go on there and you can go see if any of your local, like where around you has a Repair Cafe. And I found out that there was one in Atlanta, but it wasn't that active initially. And then, so there was one in Athens. And so I said, well, kind of cool. I want to go out, and I'll go out and drive out to Athens and go and participate out there. So that's what I do out there. We have ours usually the fourth Sunday of every month. And we do all sorts of repairs, not only electronics and electrical, but we have folks who can sharpen knives. We have folks who sew clothes and mend clothes. We have people who weld. So we can do a variety of all kinds of fixes and things. So it's a whole lot of fun too. So
I love that. How many devices do you think products do you think you've fixed over the year?
If you take one, I'm pretty sure I've probably seen myself over 200 devices. And I think when we keep the stats, we're about 60%, 50 to 60% being able to fix it.
That's awesome.
And stuff.
Are there any of those repairs that stick out in your memory?
Yeah, I was mentioning to you earlier about this one is one that just makes me want to feel really good about the repair. Is we had one woman who hit us up on an email before the Repair Cafe asking if we could fix a particular toy. She had a son that had developmental disabilities, and he was younger, but he had his disabilities. He was having a hard time functioning. So one of the things that would help keep him calm and interested in things, he had a toy. And this toy was a little electric toy that, would be for kids. And unfortunately, he would put it in his mouth. And then so what that would happen and cause would be corrosion on the switches, and it caused them. So the woman tried to find as many toys as she could, but at some point, the manufacturer stopped making the toys. And she was desperate because her son really wanted this toy. We said, well, can we get it and maybe sample the sound and make him a new toy? And she's like, no, he wants this toy and stuff. And we said, okay, bring it in. We'll see what we can do. So she brought the toy in a little later into the day, so I didn't get a chance to fix as many. I was able to take a little deoxit, for folks who know what deoxit is, and put it on the switches and fix it, and we recovered 2 of them. And she was so happy, she gave me a marriage proposal, so, and which I turned down.
Oh, that is the romantic comedy that I want to see, is a meet cute at a Repair Cafe.
Yeah, what I really liked about it though is that we hear a lot about how, Right to Repair lets us own our stuff and how we do it, and it keeps stuff out of landfill and things, but there's a human side to it, and the human side of it is that you may be bringing back treasured items for folks. Or I worked on a sewing machine where this lady could then fix the machine and give it to her granddaughter so she could learn how to sew. And then I worked with another gentleman who had a bunch of the old slides and things, and he didn't want to digitize them or anything else, and he had broken his Kodachrome slide machine. We fixed that, and so now he was able to show all of his slides. So it's just really nice to be able to do those kind of things in the community and help out, not only to keep things out of landfills and also just so we have the right to repair. So
Absolutely.
okay.
That's awesome. I hear that the repair cafes in Atlanta need more electronics repairers.
Oh, yes, we do. So if anybody is interested in checking out Repair Cafe, we're actually holding one on August 30th. We hold them every month typically. We are expecting a larger turnout, and right now we have one or two incredibly reliable, so talented electronic repairers, but we always need more. We need more sewers. We need more. Well, I didn't know that Athens had welders. If anyone knows how to weld, please. But yeah, so we're still getting off the ground. Char's goal here in Atlanta is to start as many repair cafes as possible. So we're also looking for people interested in starting them in your community. So it's hyper local. We're holding ours in the sort of Collier Heights area. So if you want to start one in a different region, you can come talk to me, come talk to Char's. Yeah,
Anybody who can fix electronics? Okay,
great news, great news.
there you go. You got targets.
I want to say I feel a little bit embarrassed because I'm a tech grad and I have to go out to the dogs out in Athens. So I want to see us stand up here in Atlanta and see if we can compete a little better. We should be doing better as tech grads. So.
I've been advised by our lawyers that I can't take a position on this matter. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for the work you do, for the service that you provide to your community, and for keeping that skill, that community skill of repair alive. So let's hear it for our Repair Cafe folks. Thanks, y'all. So one of the things, right, in the stories that you're hearing about these devices, jewelry, an old toy, right, they don't have software. So you can still fix them. But when it comes to new devices, as we all know, right, there's software that runs on it. Whether it's your car, whether it's your phone, whether it's like, I bought this new for this event. If it breaks, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fix it legally, right? Because of Section 1201 of the DMCA. So Lewis is going to tell us a little bit more about that in a second. But this issue goes so far beyond just household items, but beyond kind of treasured toys. This affects, one group that the right to repair that has been foundational in the right to repair movement is farmers. Have you all heard about some of the struggles that farmers face, right? John Deere, yes. My personal public enemy number one for a long time. So these are a group of folks that have to figure out how to make stuff work, right? If it's planting season, if it's harvest, if it's haying season, they've got to be able to get the job done. And because of these software locks, they're not able to do it. So we've actually got a video that should come up. Yeah.
Just punch it a few times.
Yeah. That usually works. Hey, it did.
Hey, yo.
So this is Danny Wood. He's from Colorado. I had a chance to speak with him before our Boulder event, and I did a lot of work with him actually helping to pass the country's first agricultural right to repair bill in Colorado. So let's hear a little bit from Danny.
My name's Danny Wood, and I live in a small town in northeast Colorado. It's called Pete's. We have a large dryland farm, and we raise winter wheat, prozone millet, dryland corn, and grain sorghum, which is milo. I am the District 1 director for the Rocky Mountain Farmers Union, which is a three-state organization of Wyoming, Colorado, and New Mexico. And my wife helps me and our son, and he has some of his own farming also. And the other issue we had, and I'm actually sitting in the field right by the tractor, Case IH Steiger 370, and it was a year old. We'd bought it, four-wheel drive tractor, articulated four-wheel drive tractor. And when I bought it, an older gentleman had it, and he didn't have all the guidance system and the performance monitor and all that in it. So I had him install all that. I think it was $23,000 or something like that to have that all installed, which it's all worth it when it's working. So we had it put in. Everything was working great. We went to plant corn with it that year, and it wouldn't control the fertilizer. It was supposed to do all that. Well, I called them back, or I was under the understanding it was supposed to go. I called them, and they said, well, that's a feature that we have to unlock. All an unlock is it's you pay them a fee, and it's an electronic thing. They unlock the system, and it'll let it do that. So we did that, and it worked great that day. Well, the next day, my son went to use it, and it wouldn't control that again. So I called him, told him it's not working. They said, well, it'll be 3 days before we can get there. And when you're planting, you don't have 3 days to sit around and wait, because that's a critical time to get your crop in the ground. But we had no choice. We could not. We tried everything in the world, and we couldn't get it to work. So we had to wait for the 3 days. The technician showed up, crawled in the tractor, and said, that's what I figured. Well, I asked him what's wrong, and he said, it lost its code. It just was a 5-digit code. He said it lost that code. So he put that code back in, and everything worked fine. Well, I made sure that I took a picture of that code, so if it ever happened again, we could fix it ourselves. And then the worst thing about that is I had paid them, I think it was $1,100 or $1,200 to unlock that feature, and there should be some kind of warranty behind it. I mean, it was 2 days later, they sent me a bill for the service call for $900 to come put that code back in that tractor, which they could have done that. They could have told us over the phone and we could have entered it. But so it's just things like that. I know in the grand scheme of things, the $900 service call was not a big deal, but it is. $900 is $900. You add that up a few times through the years, and that adds up to a lot of money. And like I said, when you're paying them huge prices up front, they shouldn't be charging you to come back out because it lost its code. That's not on me. That's on their equipment. But I just think when you buy something and you own it, you should own it fully, not own like that tractor sitting right out here in the field. I should own that piece of iron, but not the stuff that makes that iron run. When I bought that, I bought it as a unit that should run. Everything should work. And I believe in having to pay for the unlocks and everything to get everything to work, but you only have to pay once. You should not have to pay for them to come back out and enter digital code, because that digital code, when you bought that unlock, should be accessed to you. That should be your code, and you should have that forever. And that's why I took a picture of it, and we will always have that code. The kid wasn't very happy that I did it, but it's like, dude, this is my tractor, and I'm going to take a picture of that.
So what Danny was facing, right, the whole idea that a 5-digit code was enough to take away the feature that he had paid $1,100 or $1,200 for. The reason, right, in the world that we want to live in, he'd be able to call up somebody else. Maybe he's got, maybe his kid is good at hacking. Maybe there's somebody else online, or there's a product out there that could help him get around that digital lock so that he could restore the functionality that he rightfully bought and paid for. The reason he can't, if he tried to do that, he would be a pirate. He would be a copyright criminal, right? And anybody who helped him do that, and if they charged a little bit for the service, they could face some serious prison time and serious fines. That's the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. That's what we're working to change here. And I could talk about that, but there's someone who's way better at it. So I'm going to hand it over to Louis Rossman, who I think you all know. So let's hear it for Louis. Oh, and he's in the throne.
Thank you. I would get up, but I like this seat makes me feel shorter than I am, so I kind of like it. So many of you who came out here know that my channel was popular in the early days for doing these videos and how to do basic component level board repair. And these are the schematics that I would show. I always realized that there was eventually going to be some sort of standoff, because if you zoom in, right in the corner, it says Notice of Proprietary Property. The maintainer of this document promises to maintain it in confidence, not to reproduce or copy it, not to reproduce or reveal or hold it in part. Apple Inc. Copyright, all rights reserved. And at some point when we went to like 100 subscribers to 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000, eventually I was going to have to pay the piper. And I enjoyed doing these videos. I enjoyed allowing people to figure out how to fix their stuff, save some money, or just experience the excitement when you actually see the fan spin again after somebody else told you that you're not allowed to do that. And as I've went on over the years, I've noticed that repair is really just a very, very small problem under the greater umbrella of ownership, and that ownership is what's actually being taken away. Ownership used to mean, in the 14th century, back in the old days, the action of obtaining something in exchange for payment or money in an equivalent. To acquire in exchange for payment in money, to buy the usual sense. That was the 14th century definition. This is the 21st century definition from Sony. Use of the terms own, ownership, purchase, sale, sold, sell, rent, or buy. And they have it in quotes, just to let you know. I know you think this means something, but it actually doesn't. And this agreement in connection does not mean or imply any transfer of ownership. So use of the terms own and ownership do not imply transfer of ownership. Now, this is not just something that's on page 21 of an end-user license agreement that doesn't affect you. Page 21 of the end-user license agreement, which is where I grabbed this from, does this. Legal update notice. As of December 31st, 2023, due to our content licensing arrangements with content providers, you will no longer be able to watch any of your previously purchased Discovery content, and the content will be removed from your video library. We sincerely thank you for your continued support. Thank you, PlayStation Store. They didn't say you can't watch the stuff in the streaming service anymore. They didn't say that you can't watch what you rented anymore. They said that what you purchased is now gone. Now, they went back on this after there was some backlash. Some people talked about it on YouTube and a few million views on that, and they changed their mind. But then they did it again. And this is the problem that we have here. As of September 1st, 2026, due to our content licensing arrangements, blah, 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 and the content will be removed from your video library. And this time, they're just giving you the extra kick in the nuts of play has no limits. Just letting you, it's a meme. They're just screwing with you at that point, right? And it's all caps, too. There are many other words that used to have a meaning, like lifetime. Lifetime used to mean the duration of a person's life. Now, lifetime, when you spend twice as much to get the textbook for a lifetime instead of renting it, means typically, not 5 years of online access, typically 5 years of online access. So maybe typically 5 years, sometimes maybe 5 days, who knows. Permanent downloads to a supported device. If you read the EULA, you'll see that supported devices, the devices are also typically supported for 5 years as well. So lifetime is also something that is a word that has been changed in definition to where you don't own it. And the reason that can happen is because your content connected to the internet, your textbook connected to the internet, and anything that connects to the internet can be taken away from you. The same thing happens with books. Books that were sold without having digital rights management then had digital rights management. These books were sold saying that there is no DRM, and they now no longer allow you to download them. How many people here have kids? You remember what it cost to buy a baby monitor? How much did you pay for it? Yell out a price, approximate. How much, like 20 bucks, 50 bucks? 40 bucks. All right, 40, 45, 20 bucks. If you paid $400 for a baby monitor, would you expect it to keep working? You would be wrong. Why am I seeing this? Activate membership. My $400 baby monitor has locked previously free features behind a monthly subscription. And when you click, why am I seeing this? Somebody else bought the company, and the person who bought the company decided that they wanted more money. Because the baby monitor connected to the internet, they have the ability to change this. A wheelchair. Somebody with multiple sclerosis is being hit with this. If you want your wheelchair to be able to go at 8 kilometers an hour instead of 5 because you want to catch the bus, catching the bus is now an additional subscription. This great person actually came up with an unlock for it and posted it online. And because they did it not in the United States, they did not break any laws. And the amount of time since the first tour date that we did, Roost makes a water leak sensor, not the most important thing in the world here. It just checks if your pipes are leaking in a basement. Nothing that's really mission critical. They announced that the sensors that were sold with an expiration date of December of 2027, we're going to stop working sometime around July, August of 2026. And anybody here have a BMW made after 2020? Oh, so none of you got to see the Spider-Man ad in your car. Something clicked when I saw that there was a company that makes a thermostat and a set of home products that said after the company went bankrupt, somebody else bought the company. And right after they bought the company, a firmware update went out to all these devices that made it so you had to pay $117 a year to be able to use the smart connected features of your thermostat. You want to adjust the temperature in your home, $117 a year. And something just clicked. I just kind of lost it. And I thought back to what I was doing with Right to Repair and with doing repair videos. I knew that little thing in the bottom right corner was going to come back to bite me in the ass. But I also realized people are coming up to me and saying, I used to work at Walmart, I used to make $7 an hour, and now I make a living for myself and my family just doing board repairs off of eBay. Customers would give me a hug when we were able to get their data back. And I just figured, if I'm showing people where a fuse is, I know the law says this, but if I'm doing the right thing, for the right reasons, I have a feeling this is all going to work itself out. And I wanted to try and get other people to start seeing things this way and start realizing that I know what the law says, but let's try to start doing more of the right thing. So I edited this video that I was about to put out, and I added about 1 minute section at the end of it at 1 in the morning, re-edited, re-uploaded, and said, we'll give you $5,000 if you crack this firmware for this thermostat so that people can get back ownership of it. Now, the CEO came out and said that this is considered illegal hacking. It is regrettable that we must now spend time and resources on strengthening the security of a sought-after device rather than further developing functionality for the benefit of our customers. The only functionality that they developed from the time that they purchased the company was sending out an update. It's a word that starts with an R. What do you call it when your computer installs something from the internet that you didn't want it to install that requires you pay money to get it back? Ransomware. Everybody here knows that, if you're technically savvy or not. When there's an update that gets installed on your device that stops it from working until you give somebody money and takes away the functionality, we used to call that ransomware. But in the United States, we call that a business model. Now, he's wrong, because in Norway, there is no Section 12.1 of the DMCA. You are allowed to break a digital lock in order to make something work again if you are fixing it. He's wrong about Norway. But in the United States, he's correct. Technically, what this person did when they came up with a bounty jailbreak that allows you to get back access to the thermostat, that could be considered breaking a digital lock. And since he got paid for it, he could, in the United States, he could go to prison for 3 to 5 years. He doesn't live in the United States. Cody Kosiemba, on the other hand, does. When the Nest thermostat did this a few months later, we put out a bounty for $14,772 and said, if you can make this thermostat work again in a way that is easy, where I could show my parents or my grandparents how to do it, we'll give you that money. Now, how many people here have heard of a Nest thermostat or have one in their house or have seen it elsewhere? How many people here know what the expiration date is of the Nest first and second generation thermostat? Any guesses? All wrong. It doesn't have one. They never tell you on the box, which is why we find it to be objectionable that breaking a digital lock to make it work again is illegal. When they sell the products, they don't tell you when they're going to expire. Or in the case of Roost, with the pipe leak sensor, one of those things that I'd really like to know ahead of time if you plan on moving up the date that it's going to stop working before I install them in tenants' houses or anything that's important, is that they don't tell you when the device is going to die. And when they do tell you when it's going to die, sometimes because they have the ability to change it, they just change it. Didn't make enough money. So he came out with a jailbreak for this called the No Longer Evil jailbreak, a play on words for the time when, back before Google purchased companies and destroyed their products. And he released it. And technically, since we paid him to do it, and he's in the United States, he is in violation of that law. And if Google wanted the PR disaster, they technically could say Section 12.1 of the DMCA. Echelon makes smart home exercise equipment, and they did something that is, as you probably tell by the way I look, a favor to me. They gave me an excuse to not have to use my exercise equipment anymore. They sent out a firmware update that stopped it from working with third-party hardware. So not third-party apps. So you wouldn't be able to use it with third-party apps. Would it surprise anybody here if I told you that the first-party app for this bike had ads and subscription stuff inside of it? Imagine that. Yeah, so you have another reason to start using this thing as a clothes rack again, like all the exercise equipment I have at home. Now, somebody came out with a jailbreak that allows you to be able to use third-party applications with the exercise bike again, the way that you could when you bought it. He got paid, but he didn't release the bounty. And I understand why. We talked to him. He's like, I'm getting married. I'm thinking about having kids. My wife's really not keen on the whole 3 to 5 years in federal prison thing. She kind of likes me. So he didn't release it. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to make, anybody here watch The Honeymooners? Remember when Ralph Cramden would always do like the coin toss with Ed Norton, like heads I win, tails you lose? We were trying to set up that type of scenario where if somebody releases a solution, hundreds of thousands of people get back ownership. They are invested in our cause. They care about it. And if they don't release a solution, now I get to go to the pompous lobbyists that say stuff like what you're going to hear here and throw this in their face.
My name is Samantha Kerschel, and I'm the Executive Director for TechNet. Respectfully, we are testifying in opposition to Senate Bill 5799 today. We believe this legislation is in search of a problem that does not exist.
Something that's resonated with me is something that you heard early on here, is this is legislation in search of a problem.
Now, if somebody doesn't release the solution, and we have a book of all these different companies that have taken away ownership, we want to be able to go up to them and say, okay, so you say this is a problem that doesn't exist. So you would be okay with all these people releasing their solution. Are you willing to sign an affidavit saying that you would not prosecute anybody that breaks the digital locks in your products? Oh, you won't. Okay, so you're full of shit. And we often find that they are full of shit. Now, raise your hand if you think that either of these lobbyists that say this, or any of them in general, not just these two, believe what they're saying. Very shortly thereafter, I found a tweet from one of those same lobbyists saying, and I quote, "I'm experiencing phone issues. The phone is on, but the screen is black. I've tried everything. It's time for..." If you clicked it, you would be able to see the full thing where it said a new phone, if only there was some place I could get it fixed. Solution in search of a problem. Would it surprise you if the Facebook and the Twitter was deleted a day after I posted this? Yeah. Coincidence. You'll see that this is also something that affects motor vehicles. How many people here have a car where an independent mechanic told them you'd probably have to go to the dealer to get this repaired properly for a very specific issue? Anybody here have that? So this is an act that came out. It's the Repair Act, which has been sponsored by a number of different congresspeople. It is a prohibition on motor vehicle manufacturers withholding vehicle-generated data, critical repair info, and tools. A manufacturer may not employ any technological barrier that impairs the ability of a motor vehicle owner to, or an aftermarket parts manufacturer to help you fix your car. Do you think the automotive industry said, "Oh, that sounds great. People will be able to fix their stuff"? Raise your hand if you think that they like this. What? Rev up America. Don't hand your keys to China. Skip the risky Repair Act. Should politicians pick what's in your driveway? Oh, my favorite, your car isn't just a vehicle, it's a rolling network packed with data. How many people here want a vehicle that's a rolling network packed with data? Raise your hand. And if you have that, raise your hand if you think you shouldn't be allowed access to it. Now, when I talk about this law, I'm biased. I'm a repair shop owner. People will say that, you've made money off of repairs, so you're biased. I also drink water in the community, so when I say I'd like not to have lead in it, yeah, I'm doing it all for myself. But let's say that you believe that I am just biased and I just care about things that suit me. I wanted to play this one clip from the person who made the DMCA. This is Bruce Lehman. He came out with this entire thing in 1994, and he pushed it through using a very interesting strategy back in 1996 and 1997.
Unfortunately, at least in some areas, our policies haven't worked out too well. Our attempts at copyright control, at least thus far, have not been successful. But I don't just blame teenagers and college students. I really blame the moguls in the music industry, because had they been thinking about these business models when we were doing our work in 1994 in the Clinton administration, had they been developing effective online distribution models when the internet first came into business, had they been talking to Steve Case when AOL first started to become a big deal, and really seriously developing an online business model, perhaps we would not be in the situation that we are. But the culture of that industry was such that, those people were concerned principally with, and their talents were developing talent, understanding public taste. They didn't know anything about distribution or technology or anything like that. Minions dealt with that. Well, their industry has paid the price. Hopefully there's not any, I won't be quoted in the U.S., but
I plan on quoting you, sir.
Afraid our Clinton administration policies didn't work out very well. Now, a lot of people accused me at the time of doing an end run around Congress and everybody else by negotiating these treaties and then coming back and saying, well, because we submitted this to Congress before the treaties process was completed, then coming back and saying, well, now you have to do this, Congress, because we've agreed to a treaty. And I would say that they're probably right, that it was an end run and it was partly deliberate. And the final statute that comes out, was a guy who was the head of then the biggest record company in the world, Warner Records, and he was a very nice guy. And he wrote a book a few years later after he retired and confirmed what I always thought to be the case about record industry executives. Record industry executives are impresarios. And the most successful record industry executives, I would characterize as a 45-year-old man who can think like a 17-year-old girl and likes to hang out at 3 o'clock in the morning and do drugs with rock stars. And he basically admitted to all of that in his book that he wrote several years later. Unfortunately, that is not a mindset, a part of the brain that does very well at evolving new business models for highly complex technologies.
So that video is from 2007. I didn't have Wi-Fi in my home in 2007. I still had a flip phone. And just even almost 20 years ago, he admitted that this law did not work out very well. In 2007, your refrigerator did not connect to the internet. Your TV didn't connect to the internet. Your baby monitor didn't connect to the internet. When you bought a game, it didn't connect to the internet in order to be allowed to turn on. you weren't able to just take away control over what somebody bought and paid for back then. And even back then, this law was horrible. If 20 years later, when all these devices connect to the internet and every single day something can be turned off, we're not able to revise this law, after the person who created it admits that it hasn't worked, he did an illegal end run around the democratic process to get it passed, and all the people who helped him pass it were, in his words, junkies, then we have massively failed at our job. So I'm here, along with Kevin O'Reilly and everybody else, to ask you to help us with repealing this particular section and reforming it so that the people out there who are great tinkerers and great coders and great programmers, when a company does this, when they take away access to what you bought and paid for, there are always a team of nerds happy to get it back. And sometimes they even do it for free. How many people here have heard of Home Assistant? The people who made the Hi-Air module got a DMCA takedown. The people who made the Mazda one got a DMCA takedown. How many people here have heard of something called Slopsmith or Rocksmith recently? Not as many, but we're a fan. Every other day, I hear of some developer that got a DMCA takedown notice from somebody who was making an application that was better than the manufacturers, even if you weren't paying for it. And we want those people to be able to continue to create this stuff without fearing legal pressure. Because when you have to worry about hiring a lawyer at $400 to $1,200 an hour in order to make something work again, all those people with those great talents, instead of making this cool stuff, they're just going to go work at Apple or Amazon or Facebook, or even worse, they're just going to go to work for the companies that are doing this stuff to you to begin with. We believe that the really good, skilled programmers and hackers would be incentivized to actually do the work to make all these devices work very well if they didn't have to deal with legal repercussions for doing it. How many people here enjoy getting sued? I figured. I enjoy it. What coffee does to other people in the morning is what getting a cease and desist does for me. But most developers don't like getting a cease and desist. So if you would like to help us with reforming this, we're going to ask you to fill out a short postcard to your representative, letting them know your personal story when dealing with this type of stuff. And we are going to try and get this reformed so that we can own our stuff. Thank you very much.
Awesome. So, like Louis said, we're going to be taking action today to do something about this, but we also recognize that one day of action isn't going to change everything. So what we have here is how you know what to do next month, next year, and beyond. So this QR code, if you check that out, we've got a few around here. In particular, we want you to join our Zulip server. It's an open source Discord kind of thing, where we'll be sharing information about what's going on, what you can do about this, and also hopefully kind of start to build some community online as well around this work that we're doing. So check that out. Everybody have a postcard? Yeah. Let's write a postcard. Anybody not have a postcard? Raise your hand. Perfect. All right. Well, Grace and Maria are going to be coming around with pens. What we're going to do next is write a postcard to Rep. Hank Johnson, right? Rep. Hank Johnson has been a supporter of this, but it's always good for him to hear from his constituents that this is something that you care about, right? We want to move it up that priority list that he is dealing with. So there's a few things to do here, right? First of all, you want to address it to Representative Hank Johnson. You want to share your story about why you care about this issue, why you care about right to repair, why you care about digital ownership. And then you're going to say that it's time to reform the Digital Millennium Copyright Act and urge him to support the Freedom to Fix Act. So that is our current legislative priority. We think this is the first and important way that we can do this by making it so that, in particular, circumventing a law for the purposes of repair, maintenance, or cybersecurity research, no longer a copyright crime, no longer 5 years in federal prison, no longer the risk of $500,000 in fines. And then finally, you're going to sign the postcard with your name and your address so that he and his staff know that you're either a constituent or you're in state, because that matters more. So any questions about any of that? Yes, go ahead.
What if we're not from this state?
That's a great question. Can you go back one slide? On the link tree, we have a Find Your Representative link, so check that out, and you can find their address there. Any other questions? Cool. Well, once you're done writing your postcard, we've got a bin up front, kind of right by the door yeah, exactly, right there. Thank you. What's your name? Justin, thank you. Drop them off there, and then most importantly, you don't have to go. Like, say hi to Lewis, say hi to me, talk to each other. Grace will also be kind of recording stories, so if you have something you want to say or a story you want to share about how this issue has affected you, those stories are critical to our advocacy efforts, so we would love to hear from you. Right on. Thank you all for being here. Let's go change this goddamn law. What do you say?
You don't like Jeopardy? Play the Merv Griffin Jeopardy music in the last few stops and he doesn't like it. I think it's great music to fill out a card. Okay, so hang on.
Hello. My name is Dan, man.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, I follow your channel, and I see all the stuff you do. I'm from Florida, and my family lives there. It just so happens that you're here. I was like, oh shit, I gotta go see you. You're the
Small world.
YouTuber I've ever seen live. I was like, oh crap. I don't know. I just gotta come out and see you. And
Thank you very much for coming out. I appreciate
It's
it.
pretty cool. I appreciate the stuff you do, though.
Thank you, sir. Good meeting you.
I gotta write this later for.
Absolutely. Thank you. Oh, thanks. So sorry about that. Can I play the Merv Griffin Jeopardy music?
Oh my gosh.
Hello.
I met you in Orlando when you tried to move down once.
I remember. Small
Yeah,
world.
I sat right next to you. I'm actually just passing through to Ohio.
Oh, cool.
We just happened to cross paths at the same time.
What do you do? A lot of travel for work? Or?
No, I'm actually moving her to Ohio and then I'm flying back. I was wondering if you were going to cover flock cameras.
Oh, no, not today.
Yeah.
That's my side project. I have too many side projects.
I actually know one of the commissioners here in Atlanta.
No way.
The Gwinnett County, one of the Gwinnett County commissioners.
Small world.
And he's one of the few who's pushing for the flock cameras here in this county.
Boo. They should put it outside of his house.
No, I would have invited him here, but he probably gets trounced. But he should be, looking for these types of events so he can see his constituents.
He can see how many people don't like this shit.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming out. I look for food. Food? Maybe. Sorry, man. Sure.
Thank you.
Food? Food? Hello. Food. Oh boy. Pesto chicken. Thank you if I will.
Okay.
I was visiting my family. Just so happens you guys have this event. I was like, I gotta go see it. You know? Yeah.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah,
Nicholas.
of course. Thank you for having us.
I watch your videos.
Small world.
I help out with Image. Yep, I got it because I'm a support crew member, and they gave us like $150 worth of merch at one point.
Oh, cool.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, I have a Framework laptop. I have Lineage OS on my Pixel 8a, and on my brother's phone and my dad's phone. I got them both on Graphene OS.
The one thing that drives me nuts is I love that the Pixel allows me to unlock the bootloader when a lot of phones don't. But they have to use their they use their own chip because they want to use their AI shit, which I don't use. But when you don't use a Qualcomm chip, you go under a tree and you lose service. Like my Pixel 6 and 7 had horrible service. Like Pixel 9 had slightly better service, but now the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi and the service just randomly dies all the time. It just kills me.
Maybe the 8 just happens to be good because I haven't had that many issues with it, to be honest.
There's always something to give up when you want freedom or privacy, and it's just annoying how much you have to give it. There's always a compromise. There's always something somewhere. Like the Venstar thermostat that I use that works with Home Assistant flawlessly. It has a touchscreen. It's this resistive shit from 1988, like you would have on the credit card machines that you sign or something. Yeah. It needs to have an open API, because if it didn't have an open API, I wouldn't be able to use it.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, with the Pixel 8,
Repeal the entire DMCA.
with the 8 and the 8A, we just got an, I don't know, I guess we got lucky. It's been pretty smooth, actually. We switched from Samsung phones, and those things, they just have so much bloat and so much crap, and I mean, everything is trying to eat your data. And I mean, the fact that I managed to get my dad on is crazy.
What do you think of the comment?
Steven, pleasure is mine. It's okay.
Thank you for coming out, sir.
Yeah, one of the owners up here at MacApparel up in Marietta. Been following you for since 2019, I believe. Cool. Love your day. Great advocate. I'm also an advocate for it. I'm a U.S. Marine. I was in Afghanistan in 2008 and I built the forward operating base.
You remember Paul from the videos, the ball guy? He's
Paul,
from Marine Corps.
Marine Corps. Yeah.
He always used to scream at two of the other employees when they would fuck something up.
Yeah, I was a sergeant in the Marines, so I used to yell at Marines. So.
Yeah, he used to like scream at them. He was like, "Yeah, you're gonna get smarter. You're gonna get strong. Fuck you guys." Yeah, and he would always he had like crayons in his desk. I don't understand all the military humor, but every time somebody from the Air Force would walk in, he would go, "Oh, would you like some filet mignon with that?" I love the military.
We did have it out there. We have these barrels that we cut up there. I was in Afghanistan in 08, so I know all about the right to repair thing situation. I've been doing it out there in Afghanistan in the fucking heat of 140-degree weather. So I was wiring up the base. I'm the one of the Fuer Marines. 5 Marines that landed on Dark Knight. I'm one of them. So I built out that base. I don't even care about hearing that anymore. It's weird. Thank you, but it doesn't bother me anymore. So appreciate your advocates for that. I'm kind of a loudmouth, so I'm kind of like relaxed, but I do get kind of fucking pissed off from the things you say about the people they're doing. And I kind of like, oh man, I
think more people need to be more
loud. Aggressive. Like I'm like, I'll get in these spaces like, what are you doing to my fucking shit? My son's gonna fix this? Are you fucking serious? What? I'm gonna fucking break your neck, man. It's like, you're gonna go to jail. I don't fucking care. But I watched a lot of your videos back in the day when I found the business in 2020. Dead in the corner of the epidemic of COVID. So I built this business, and I'm actually fucking drowning now. It's too busy. I had to hire 2 more people, but Apple fucking sent me a letter back in the day when we started MacSpace, MacApparel, and my lawyers came in and told me, like, fuck off. It's MacApparel nominated fair use. So they left me alone, I guess.
You have a better argument than I do, given what it says in the schematics. But I wish
nominated.
So many people, they get a cease and desist and they think it's over. That's what
I'm not gonna turn over. They don't scare me. No one scares me. I've been bombs and shot at. You think
Stephen Ryan from the Vancouver event? He was saying like a lot of people find me annoying, and I just cut him off in the middle of a sentence. I said, "Be more annoying. We need more annoying people."
Hey, no man. I wish I had my card. If you ever want to get in contact with me, I would be glad to speak with you guys because I make videos and I've been speaking about a lot of this stuff. I've been talking about. My wife encourages me a lot.
My email's Lewis@bostongroup.com. If you can spell my first name, my last name, and the word group.
That's my wife. Yeah, I got to have a 7-month-old. Let me find. My wife's like, "Can you get a picture with Lewis?" I'm like, "You don't mind?"
Go for it, sir.
So she don't like because I live in Adairsville, so I have to drive. I drive 110 miles a day and back to my shop. So I'm dedicated.
That is,
but
You know what I mean?
that is a trip, my friend.
This is a righteous fight, and we have the fact.
Thank you, sir.
man,
Thank you for coming out.
no, man, I'm here to help.
What's the main repairs that you guys do? Is that- What is somebody Mac repairs that we
We do board repairs just like you. I mean, I'm the one that does. I'm the lead specialist. I don't tell people I'm the owner at the stop because then everyone's like, I need to speak to the owner. I'm like, I'm just the lead technician.
Everybody at the store, whoever's at the front is the owner. I know.
That's funny. But a lot of your repair videos. I mean, I learned a lot from the. I was actually a board specialist, but not at the micro soldering because I watched it. But then when I was in school back in the day, we had board shops back in high school, and it was in the early 2000s. We had to take the boards and put them in an acid bath, and traces come out. So I learned all the board thing, and I remember the teacher was like, well, "This is the most high-skilled fucking repair you'll ever do in your life. It's the highest paid."
Paul was telling me when he was in the Marines, he's in the Marines, that all the forms that he had to fill out just to get access to a part, and he's just like, when I show up here, it's annoying for us to get.
You should see what we're like in Afghanistan. When they get form, we're like, "Fuck it, fix it. We don't give a fuck."
Yeah,
we're getting bombs on
all the
us.
forms and all the shit, and he
we
was
fix
showing me
it.
this radio. He was showing me this radio from the 1940s that got used in World War II. It's like 500 to 5,000 watts. You walk in front of it, and you could just feel yourself microwaving. And he said he did it for fun. Marines,
man,
I wish I could have met all the people.
A little secret is that we don't. When we're over there in war, if they're taking those roles, you got to call them. We're like, go fuck themselves. We're getting shot at. Fuck these people.
Yeah, Paul.
It's our life waiting for them, or we're gonna fucking.
I had so much respect for Paul because he had so much patience for bureaucracy, but then at somebody's like, fuck all this. He did everything.
Wait.
He had the most precision of any person that I ever met. And like, I had so
Oh,
much.
let me get your. I'm gonna send you my email thing. I also worked with a representative and told him that I'm one of the Marines that built out Fob Dwyer, so I put it up there. Maybe we'll have
a signal.
I know what it is, but I have not.
I'll give you my number.
Your advocates put me in front. I'll speak it.
What's your name again?
Steven. Steven
Okay,
Smitley.
yeah,
man, I'll look forward to talking to you. Hey, where's
Nice to meet you. I know you read it and everything.
Hello.
But nice to meet you. Thank you for reinforcing my beliefs. Sometimes you just need someone to give you that little push. What I believe is right. So do you remember that video you made about the Pixel 6 and the little case that put a micro SD on it? That didn't work. It was shit.
I don't remember.
It was like you attached it with a magnet to the back.
Oh yeah, I
they
remember that.
supposedly gave you
2022, yeah.
Yeah. So I bought this from China. It was a company that made cases for iPhone, and it put a micro SD on them. But it was only iPhone, So for the longest time, I kept emailing them 50 times to make something for Android, So they made this thing. I haven't really used it, but I bought it, because I wanted to give it to you. So the way
thank you.
You're gonna put this on the back of it, then you plug it on your phone. And then, you just put your micro SD.
That looks way better than what I had before.
You charge it, and you can put a mic on it, since you use it and everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, so now they have another version that is a case, so it's like the whole case, and it has MagSafe and everything. So you're supposed to, it's like custom, so you order it. So I ordered for my Pixel, but they said there's not enough orders, so we have to cancel it. So this is the next thing, So if you like it, just try it. They are not paying me or anything, I just because it's cool. It's a cool thing, and it's something I believe in. So if you like it, make a video and maybe they'll get more orders, and they make better things in the future. Yeah. I'm Pedro, by the way. Yeah. Do you mind if we take a picture?
Yeah, sure. Hello.
My name is AJ.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
A little to the left so you get the whole thing. You cut off your face a little.
Thank you for everything you do and everything you've done. I admire you a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've been watching your videos since probably.
Can you turn the camera, Marshall?
I don't even know. Since I stumbled across you doing like board repair back in like the early 2016s, I guess, around then. And I mean, I've always been curious about different things like that and like learning how things work, you know, like during that whole time on YouTube when like teardowns and a whole bunch of things were big at that time, you know, that whole type of wave. And I actually didn't really watch your videos for like, I don't know, maybe the last 5 or so years, like through COVID and everything, since like the New York vlogs you did every once in a while. But yeah, it's just a pleasure to be able to come out here and see you. And, you know, I respect that you stand up for the things that are important to you. And it's something that I've enjoyed to be able to watch over the years. And even recently, I've been keeping up more recently with the things that you've been doing. And it's just important to be able to be out here. And I mean, I've been seeing, especially in the last 5 or 6 years, how our rights are really getting encroached on, whether it's in the spaces of technology or music, or because I mean, for me personally, I have kind of a background in music. That's what I'm trying to work towards and doing. So I'm really seeing how, of course, like everybody says AI and everything, but like how it's encroaching into those spaces. And of course, the rights of ownership is encroaching into those spaces with how people just can't even get access to the software that they may have purchased after a few years, you know? So it's, yeah. Can I get a picture with you? Is that okay?
What about people who like learn how to do things themselves?
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much, my friend. I'm going to just get something to drink real quick because I'm thirsty. Let's see if there's a cup. No more cup. Where did I get a cup? Cup. Oh. Where do I get a cup? Oh. One sec. I think I may still have a cup.
Definitely a letter.
Sorry, excuse me.
Well, you should.
There.
Cup.
Should make it a little this. Have you ever pulled the M5 panel out yet from the LCDs?
I gave up on LCD.
So look
only
what they
while.
did. Apple, we used to pull these panels apart. What do you think that is right there?
Glue?
It's a metal strip.
Oh.
So what happens, we all pulled the panels, didn't have this metal strip. They didn't have to change it. So you pull the rubber and it would not snap. So you could pull the panel out, a good panel. So now they put this metal and it always breaks the rubber.
That's kind of like the A1237 MacBook Air from 2008 and 2009 where
They
they
did
used
on
two bezel
both
clips that
sides.
always
The
break.
panel was exactly the same. There was no need to do
Fucking
it.
ass.
But they literally added this metal bezel. I would gladly send you. They literally added this bezel. I'm not saying it's true or not, but this rubber is where we pull the rubber out because, you know, the adhesive, and you can pull it apart. So I discovered this a couple of days ago when I had to pull an M5 panel apart. I was like, what?
That reminds me of the original Air. The original Air, it had these two really teeny tiny plastic pieces at the bottom on the A1237 and A1304. And when you even the tiniest bit of force to get the bezel out, you crack.
There's no fucking reason to do this. This is the exact same panel. I mean,
for their
reason. I know the reason.
I
know the reason. But I wanted to show you. I'll send it to you. You can use it really.
Please just send it to me.
I will send it to you. I was glad to send it to you. Got pulled it, but I got the panel off without breaking it, so I used the air slicer. But just because they know we're pulling the rubber off, they decided to add these little metal strips on the bottom part.
That is so fucking annoying.
I discovered that the hard way. So.
Thank you.
Updated to fucking Walmart.
Drink.
So are you using a Pixel phone or what phone are you on right now?
Pixel, but it's a piece of shit.
Okay.
It's literally, I actually have to carry around that little broadcast Sony thing. I use that Sony transmitter on top of the camera as a phone. I use that as a hotspot so that my Pixel will work. I have not had time to fix my phone because there's never any time, and I haven't had time to transfer my stuff to a new one.
Is there any hope for like a different OS, or is it just I'm going to get accused of having, you know what on my phone at the airport or something?
Well, that's the sad part. Even if you actually do use an operating system that's privacy focused, and they ask you for the code, and you don't give it, you're a criminal.
Yeah.
If you give the code that erases it, you're a criminal. In other countries, they do it differently. They don't say like, oh, we have to break the encryption on your phone. They just start breaking your fingers until you give them the code. But we're not there yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Give it a while.
Yeah.
Can I shake your hand and get a picture with you?
Sure. I have out of hands, but
I got a lot of respect for what
I
you
can
do,
hold
man. New phone.
Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. I got a lot of respect for what you do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for everything.
Do you run Graphene OS on your Pixel?
I ran Graphene OS until 2023.
Okay.
The guy who made it thought I was trying to kill him. Then I went back to Calyx because he didn't, which I thought was worse technically.
Yeah.
However, the proprietor did not think I was trying to murder him. Then
Yeah, that's cool.
They stopped updating it, and then I gave up and tried Lineage.
Okay, so you distro hopped essentially for your phone and made it to Lineage.
Graphene is not. I maintain it. I do not think it is a bad operating system.
Okay.
I think it is technically the best one.
Yeah.
It's just as a proprietor that thinks about you every fucking day and thinks that you're trying to murder him. Maybe it's not for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure I have that problem, but
That's the thing. Most people do not have the problem that I do.
Yeah.
But he has a very extensive enemies list.
Yeah,
But that is a
that's true.
separate thing altogether.
There was a question I definitely want to ask you. And this quote that I heard it said that technology used to be done for us, but now technology is being done to us. Would you agree with that?
I do.
You do?
Yes. Like things getting better used to be your black and white TV became color. Now it's your black and white TV is still black and white, even though it has the capability to do color. But if you pay us $5 a month, you'll get color. But then it's $10 a month next year. It's like innovation used to occur in a very different way than it does now.
Yeah. I think what's really difficult is that like there are, I feel like right to repair things like you actually record? Are you recording? Oh, okay. I think like right to repair things like privacy and all that stuff. Those are really difficult concepts for people to kind of talk about. I'll be honest. I came here because there are like-minded people out there. But as they say, there are dozens of us, right? Do you have any like advice or things that you have done that kind of improve the, I guess, success of making people aware and actually caring about the conversation? I feel like that's just the barrier to me.
Well, the thing that you can never tell somebody you should care about this and here's why, because they'll hate you because they feel like they're being lectured.
Correct.
So what I did with Board Repair, I tried to make it fun. So I would try to make the live streams into a little game. And instead of, here's just an advertisement for my business, I'm just going to here's exactly what I'm doing, here's how I do it, here's why I do it this way, here's my rant about the customer, whatever that day, here's my rant about the company. I tried to turn it into entertainment. Sure. And then showing people how to do it wasn't just for educational purposes, but it has to mean something to you. So if I just tell you should fix things because it's the right thing to do, who gives a fuck? But if I show you, here's how you can take something that Apple said would be $2,000 and do it yourself for $50, now you're interested because I saved you $1,500. If I could show you, here's how you could do this as a business so you can make money doing it, now great. Oh, maybe I can get a better job. Or if I show you how to fix it and get your own data, I have to get people personally invested. So
there's that personal connection. You do
yeah. So like here with the bounty program, I can't tell you here's why ownership matters, here's why you should care about the DMCA. I'd say, what are items that you own that stopped working? Let me know. Let's pay people to make them work again. And once it works again, I'm going to let you know, here's why this didn't work before. Here is why there wasn't a solution until we did this. So I always try to get people personally invested. You cannot tell people here's why they'll care. If you do that, if you tell people you're bad for driving an F-350 turbo diesel because of climate change, you're just going to have people that roll coal on you when you drive by in a Prius. I don't think that the person who rolls coal on me when I drive an electric car actually hates me as a human being. He's doing that as his way of okay, maybe he's just a dickhead, but these are Texas drivers. But it could be somebody, he just felt like he was being lectured at some point, and that is his way of getting back. And I always try to do the exact opposite of that with my advocacy. It always has to be, here's how you can join in my fun. So when people have a thermostat that now works again, or their water sensors work again, or their exercise bike works again, now there's a positive association with it. Now how you get that positive association, it differs from person to person. But just going up to people and telling them you should care about this because, or here's a Twitter hashtag. I don't do that. I don't wear a shirt with a logo. I never use hashtags in the stuff that I do. I always try to get people excited based on it being personal investment.
I love that. That's the only way that I think I've also been successful is, to your point, no one wants to be lectured. People, you see the eyes glaze over, you see people's attention go away when you bring up these topics. If it's not personally relevant to them, I think that's the only way to really make that connection. And if it's not, then the conversation kind of stalls out. Last question I have for you. Have you ever, has anyone told you that when you get really passionate in videos, your New York accent comes out?
I've heard this before, yes.
My fellow family's from New York, so I appreciate it when that spark comes out.
I lived in Texas for 4 years, and I'm not fooling anybody. When I go into any other town, they're like, where are you from? When we flew into Tennessee a few days ago, they're like, where are you from? And I said, Texas. And he's like, no, really, where are you from? I'm not fooling anybody.
I have a question. What
think the biggest thing stopping the legislation from actually passing is? Because like it's obvious that people really care about it, but they're not mobilized very well.
There are too many other problems in society. I think that's a big one. I mean, a lot of it is the companies that are against it, but take, for instance, in Spokane, Washington. As we were flying out, a wildfire engulfed like half of the fucking city that I could see from the airport. I thought my plane was on fire, and then I stand on a chair and it's like, oh wait, no, the city is. Now, granted, that wound up being an arsonist, not something else, but there's probably going to be a conversation now on how do they allot money, how do they allot stuff to Park Service or whatever else, and that is going to be a legislative chamber conversation that is going to be more important than me talking about digital locks. There's always something else, whether it's abortion, immigration, the economy, COVID, war in Iran, like there's always something more important than this in people's eyes.
So in the same way that you approach customers in their time of need, when they're like sitting there and they're like, I have a problem right now, I can't get my data, I got to call you. Have you looked at trying to target people when they're having that time of need, when they have that, my stuff has been taken away, now I can't use it, I'm searching for trying to get, this thing working again. Have you looked at trying to get that? Because I think if a lot more constituents were vocal and they knew how to respond, because people are angry, but they can't swing at them. Like, there's nothing to swing at.
I try to seize the opportunity every time a company does this, and part of what we've been trying to do with that bounty program is get people excited the moments that a company does this. You Inshutified this exercise bike, we'll pay somebody to make it work again. You Inshutified a Google Nest thermostat, we'll pay somebody to make it work again. The reason that's excited me is because now I can get people at that moment of aggravation, and once we've restored their access, they're more willing to listen to me say, by the way, that my 30-second spiel on the DMCA turned into an eye roll to okay, you know what, you just made my shit work again, I'll listen to you. So that's what we always try to do. I don't want to lecture people, I want to say, here is a solution, here's something fun. Or when I was doing Border Repair videos live, I would always say, here's how close we are to not being able to fix this. If you think this is fun, when all of you people watching this get to be engineers someday or start your own companies, don't be the asshole that tells Intersil you don't sell the chip to anybody else. The reason the stream was 2 hours longer is because I had to go through 5 donor boards that didn't fucking work to find the one chip that I needed. And they don't want to be that person later on in life. So that's what it is. I try to make it fun for people and then make it so they want to be that part of that change they want to see in the world.
Thank you very much for all that you've done. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for everything, sir. Pleasure meeting.
Well, I just want to say, you're in the belly of the beast when it comes to mass surveillance. I'm sure you probably know this is where Flock was born. And I know you're one man, and you always say that. So I just wish there was like something like this to fight that, because I don't know, it's something that really pisses me off.
It's something that's been like a side hobby for me. So I commissioned that website to get made that would tell you in any community around the country, you'd get an email alert anytime there was something coming up in your area. The person who made that site just literally ghosted everybody and it stopped working. And he wouldn't even accept, I was open to offering him money just to hand the code over so we can make it work if you're not going to. I wanted to put more time and effort into that. It's just one person and it's been a hobby. I had fun going to Denver. That's actually how I met Marshall, the amazing cameraman over there. He attended the first event. I visited some of the areas where they wanted to install it. I wish there were clones of me. If I had 12 raised kids, this would be very convenient right about now.
How is there not a massive Fourth Amendment lawsuit going on? I just don't understand.
Well, the thing that makes me interested, this is a video I was going to do later, is every time people email me asking what can they do about this, I'll say, find people that you know, here's my list of arguments that I use on this page. Here are all the counter arguments you're going to get, and here's all the reasons they're bullshit. Go to your next city council meeting with the people you know from work or your friends, and what I'm finding is that a lot of people don't actually have friends. They have online friends, they have Discord friends and everything else, but when there's a local issue, they don't have people that will go with them. So either A, they go by themselves, or B, most of them, they don't go at all because they don't have any social reinforcement. So I think one of the side effects of the society becoming more isolated is that people are not there to push back against shit that they used to push back against back in the day.
Yeah, well, I know Ben Jordan went to the one in my area, and they just basically ignored him, ignored everybody that went. So it feels kind of hopeless. The best thing I think I can do is just buy a Fuck Flock shirt and wear it everywhere, and maybe that'll wake one person up.
Not a bad idea.
It was nice to meet you.
Pleasure meeting.
Daniel.
Okay, I have 2 questions. The first one is about Flock cameras, but Flock is the one that everyone's talking about. But in general, I know there's many other people, but not everyone hates surveillance. Well, I live in Brookhaven, and they don't have Flock, like the company Flock cameras, but they have something else that's basically the same thing, AI cameras that aren't Flock. How would you explain this to somebody that, like, it's not just that we don't want cameras, but like what's like the AI part, or how would you explain that, and also just the surveillance?
You don't want AI-powered surveillance. Okay, so explain the difference between CCTV. Like when they say, well, there's cameras everywhere. CCTV, what does the first C stand for? Closed. Closed circuit television. The cameras in this place go to some, those cameras go to some DVR or some shit in the back where one person can view them.
Some ring.
And even if they're cloud, usually those are not linked in with everything else. I know they're trying to do that. That's a whole other story.
I hate that.
But like those cameras are here. You can't, like, so there's friction, which means that the cop who wants to get access has to come in here, knock on the door, and they have to have a good story. I may give you the camera footage in the front if there's no warrant. If I walk to my store and I see there's a trail of blood and a police officer comes by and says, can you give us access to that camera to see what happened in the last day? And I see a trail of blood, you know what? I may not ask you for a warrant, but that's friction. He has to ask me and there has to be a good answer. When you take away that friction and allow people that work for the city or the state to access tens of thousands of cameras where you can use some sort of ChatGPT-like prompt to figure out exactly how many people, what do people that vote for Rand Paul in 2012 look like? What kind of bumper stickers do they have? Where do they congregate on Thursday night? That's fucking weird. That's very different. Yes, there are cameras everywhere, but there is a certain amount of friction to actually get access to them. When there is no friction and you have all that information and little clanker that can aggregate that information very quickly, there's a lot more potential for screwed up things to occur. And you have to have a good imagination with coming up with it. And people will call it a conspiracy when you have that imagination, you start coming up with it. But the difference between the conspiracy theory and reality will usually be 3 to 9 months. I remember when Mackenzie was saying people are going to use this to stalk their exes. People were saying like that's crazy in 2024. They're like 9 months later.
Well, and that's one of the things I've had like a moral dilemma about, whether we're after the tool or we're after the use of the tool. Because, I mean, for example, if you're running your own local LLM, that's very different from using ChatGPT, using their servers. I mean, in general with AI, but that's not what I'm trying to discuss. I'm just making a point.
I'm after both solely because of the way that Flock acts. They hired a mayor in some city in California. They hired a city council person in Cleveland. Right after that person quits, they figure out how to push it through as an emergency so they could get it through without a vote from council. Like, I'm not saying that AI surveillance cameras are always 100% of the time run by scammy or shitty companies or people that you can't trust. It's just like there's a Venn diagram that right now, there's a Venn diagram that is essentially a circle right now when it comes to the bad behavior and the company does it. Give me 1 second, because I want to make sure this thing actually works. Be right back. And I think I didn't actually turn it on. Did I actually turn? Let's see. Was that clipping this whole time? It kind of was clipping the whole time, but anyway. Actually, you know what? That's fine. I think I'm good. God bless 32-bit recording. Yes. Maybe clipping, but that's God bless 32-bit recording.
All right. Where were we? Oh yeah, on the cameras. Yeah, I mean, theoretically, if it were truly a closed system where, well, the problem is the city is able to install those cameras, though I know that especially with Flock actually owns the camera. That I really do not like. I don't think that's right. Flock should not have cameras everywhere. It should be the cities. But even then, the fact that the city has cameras everywhere and they're AI connected, yeah, that's a hard one for me to try and convince everyone. I mean, for some people, it's easy to convince them, but some of them are like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Sorry, very thirsty. Never. Too many people. There's a line coming, so I'm going to have to... Okay. Yep.
I want to take your picture with him. He is like a huge enthusiast of...
I didn't realize there's a line.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey, hello. Nice meeting you.
Pleasure meeting you.
No worries, it's all good. So I have been a fan of you for many years. I've used Gray J, and I've also made some PRs, and like I'm very happy how you have like made like a community of people that really care about like ownership of their data. I feel like data is something that us as humans is you know like one of our things that like distinguish us from the other from other animals, from other species. And so I'm a software engineer. I've been doing it for 10 years. When I was in high school, I was repairing the iPods, the iPod Classic, iPod Nanos. I was able like to replace the battery. It was way easier. Like I just needed a cable, a solder iron, and I'm done. Then I saw throughout like 2009, 2011, like things have been getting harder, like to be able to repair and like to do stuff. So I'm saying all of this because I'm really thank you for like you like making this happen, for like getting all these people here together. I brought two friends of mine too that they had no idea about this. And also, I was gonna ask you for something if you could sign.
Sure.
It's nothing.
Oh no, this is awesome. Thank you.
I printed to you just in case if you want to.
I'm gonna file a trademark claim on you for this.
I appreciate it.
Right,
Thank you very much. Can we have the selfie?
Absolutely.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pleasure meeting you. Sorry, man.
Let's scoot over here, man. I just wanted to talk a little bit more. I'm kind of leaning more towards like digital minimalism kind of thing, man. Like you mentioned the flip phone, and that's exactly what I'm rocking right now, you know? So something kind of on tangent side of like enshittification. And so something that's really been irking me for like years now is the enshittification of algorithms, man. Like, for example, today I needed my smartphone for GPS to come down here. And, you know, I grab my smartphone, go on Facebook. The first thing I see is a man getting shot in the head, man. It's just like these algorithms, especially Facebook, Meta, they make the worst algorithms that are specifically designed to anger you, to make you feel upset. And it's just awful. And that's what I've been trying to do. And so I've been trying like for years to find like a different dumb phones and different ways of locking down your own sort of devices. But it's getting just way too hard nowadays, and it's like there's no real way that I've seen to make things actually kind of work, you know. And I'm talking about like real lockdown systems. On my personal Linux computer, I set up an administrative account, a user account, and I lock this one down with a VPN and XDNS and everything. I keep those keys on 2 USBs and put them in the storage unit, and then that way, you know, you can't get on these addictive platforms, you know? It's basically like the Sirens and the Odyssey, you know? Just lulling you in, but you just can't get away from it anymore. Facebook Marketplace, you can't divide Marketplace and regular Facebook. You can't do that. WhatsApp, well, you know, if you want to talk to your folks, if you have people that live abroad, then you have to use that. And at YouTube, there's a lot of good, but there's just as much, if not more bad, you know? So I've been really trying to get away from these platforms. And when I found out that I blocked YouTube, and I actually try to go and look for the creators themselves, you support them more. Because, you know, they'll sometimes host their videos on different platforms, or they'll go on Patreon, or have their own website. And like with the Gray J, you know, follow creators, not platforms. When you actually get rid of YouTube, then you're actually looking for reaching out to the individual creators. And you tend to reach for the more higher quality ones, not the, you know, React content creators, you know. So, man, if there are some things that we can apply to Android right now, the whole dumb phone debate could probably be over right now. It just has to have a good way of locking yourself out, you know, and putting the key elsewhere. Because parental parental controls on modern phones, Apple does it in a way, that you can go in settings to turn it off. And if you try to set up a parental guide, it actually asks you, are you 17? Because they want you to be a minor in order to use these features, the actual locking down features. But it's like, I'm pretty sure if you tell it I'm not, then it's gonna bombard you with the whole 9 yards. If Android had a way just to like lock yourself out of it, then you could put it behind the VPN, next DNS, and use a smartphone with no addictive features, And because right now I couldn't park. I went to the public parking. I hope they don't tow my car because I couldn't scan. I have this, but it has no internet, so I can't scan the QR code. So I hope they don't tow my car. I gave them a call somewhere in India. A nice lady said, "Don't worry, they're not going to tow it." But you just can't live anymore without, So that's kind of been it's kind of, the shitification of algorithms and everything. You just see how sad it is with kids. My nephew, man, he's just so young and he's already on his iPad all day. It's just another problem, man. There's no shortage of those, of course. Yeah, I just want to share that with you, man. I hope not.
Come on through. I'm leaving now, Luis, but it was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, sir.
So if you like the Morio, make a video, because I think that's something people need to know about, And what they're doing is good, so they need support, Yeah.
How you doing? It's good to meet you. Been watching you for a while. Thank you. Appreciate you standing up to all these companies and all this corporate BS that we put up with now. That's where I get most of my information from. Appreciate you calling it straight down the middle, right? Dogging them when they need to be dogged and correcting it when it needs to be corrected. So, no, we got to do something to change this because it's only getting worse and worse across multiple industries. It doesn't matter what it is. We're losing more and more rights of stuff that we own, and companies coming up with creative ways to try to monetize stuff, from planned obsolescence to, right, like you talked about, or the gentleman with the tractor having to pay for software upgrades after you buy an expensive tractor. So, no, man, I appreciate you hosting this event. So, I'm from Mississippi. So, if you, I'm an advocate there for you if you ever need somebody. I'm not sure that you will. But, do what?
Oh, join that Zulips everything.
I am. I did. I scanned it. You mind if I get a photo?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I will. Hello, pleasure to meet you.
Hey, I'm awkward. I appreciate your content. It's very formative in me learning how to be a person, and I just want to thank you. And can I get a picture?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got you. You want one? Yeah, sure.
Hey there, I'm Elliot.
Pleasure to meet you.
I'm an arcade tech from Lexington, Kentucky. We've actually come across a problem here recently with arcade machines where there's a software called Eagle Network that is used to keep old Konami cabinets online. And here recently, Konami has entered the U.S. market, and now the Eagle Network is being shut down. So now all of the Konami cabinets are basically being put offline again and are no longer going to be usable. So that's something I come across that I'm kind of hoping maybe they'll reach out to your foundation and get some help with. But yeah, it's good to meet you. You really inspired me to do a lot of repairs, and now I have a pretty cool job.
Thank you. That's awesome. 1 second. I'm just going to use the restroom real quick. Use the restroom. And hit the mute button.
Help with anything server related. I made some cards. By accident, I just made like a very small one. So you can choose a big one. I use Linux, so that's why the printer didn't play nicely.
Thank you.
But yeah, in case if you need some help or something.
Thank you.
Just invite to talk.
And then was buying songs on iTunes.
Taking the poster away, I see.
And so what I've done now is
And now I'm going to hand it off to our clerk, our host, Maria.
No, absolutely not.
Save myself some work.
Why not? Hello. Hello.
Hi. Big fan. You probably heard this 1,000 times. I've been following you since you've been in New York and all that. Inspirational, working on your own stuff. I'm all about it. Just letting you know that we really appreciate all the stuff that you've been doing all these years. The uphill battles, all that, we appreciate it. The defeats, all that stuff. Every time that we see you out there and fighting for all this movement, and it doesn't happen right away, but you're still out there. I really respect that, dude.
Thank you very much. I'm going to see if the bathroom's available again. One moment. Let's see if it's available now. We have to protest more than just digital locks.
I know.
Yo, digital locks is one thing. This lock is next.
I'll ask the staff in a few minutes.
Oh, come on. Let's see.
When we talk about right to repair and
Where's Maria?
I'm a finance
Excuse me?
person.
I think the bathroom is back that way.
I know, but it has a digital lock on it. Hello, Maria. The bathroom has a digital lock on it, and for 10 minutes it's been impossible to...
Oh no. Such is life. We do have to start clearing it.
Yes.
I just want to say nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too, sir.
Glad for doing the work that you've been doing.
Thank you.
I used to be in New Jersey for a while, so don't hold that against me. I lived near Matawan, Perth Amboy there. I was there for 4 years working for AT&T before I transferred back down there.
Before we came to Atlanta, we went to Johnson City, Tennessee.
Oh, did
and the woman asked, "Where are you two from?" And I said, "It's Texas." And she's like, "No, really, where are you from? Where are you really from?" And I like Brooklyn. But
Yeah.
there's nobody's falling for
I
that.
heard you talking about New York. I kind of agree with you. I don't like Jersey myself, but I do miss New York, like the plays and the shows. And
I miss some parts about it.
Yeah, I do too. But
I don't miss feeling like having less than $10 million you're poor, but I do. There are some things I miss about it.
yeah, but I'm glad to be in the South, and I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. Keep doing. I'm here supporting you whatever I can. By the way, so
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure meeting you, sir.
Take care, sir.
I'm John.
Sure. Pleasure to meet you.
I'm a journalist. I'm working on a story about the repair cafes here in Atlanta for Grist. And so Gwen told me at the last minute that I should be here, so I just showed up. Really interesting talk. Yeah. Can I find you online if I want to get in touch with you and learn more about
Just email lewis@rossmangroup.com. If you can spell my first name, my last name, and the word group, you're like 99% of the way there.
You never watch your YouTube videos?
No, I will though.
Don't watch YouTube, it'll rot your brain.
Well,
Thank
good to
you for
meed
coming
you.
by.
Yeah.
And thank you for
Where are you
caring.
headed next?
After this, home. I forget what the next stop is.
Where's
Maria,
home for you?
Texas. Actually, it was Maria just took down the. What's the next stop, Maria? Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Myrtle Beach.
I'm gonna see if the bathroom is open, and if it's not, I'm glad I brought a 2-pound titanium rod. One second. Excuse me. I'm just gonna.
I think it's time to ask the staff.
Time to break the digital lock.
Everyone's waiting to talk to you. You go first.
Anybody in there? I just wanted to wash my hands. Yeah.
Go for it. I didn't want to like interrupt you, like go to the bathroom and all that. Just that one thing I'll say, as somebody that works in the automotive industry, I do see everything that goes on more as we're moving more and more towards. Oh yeah, you rely more and more on the dealership. I'm like, it sucks. I am looking into within my career. Like I just graduated as a mechanical engineer from my local university. I am looking into getting like a kind of like infiltrate. You know, get in there and try to like, I don't know, try to do my part.
Thank you very much.
Can you show us just a quick picture?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I gotta make a TV. Whenever you're ready, I also have a story. I don't know if there's a line or you're still... Okay.
I'm just half asleep at this point, so...
Oh, you're good. Okay, so I'm a software engineer. At work, actually I was interning at the time, so I was still in school. It was over the summer. At work, I did this project with one of my older coworkers. He's like, oh, I have this thing. It's in Java. Do you know Java? Can you help? And I was like, oh, yeah. So like a week or two later, he gives me the program. It's a compiled jar file. And I'm like, okay, do you have source code? No. The guy who made it died. It was a bespoke application for a very large company. I probably can't say too much more. And they needed a bunch of updates to it. There was stuff that was supposed to be in it that was just not finished yet. I mean, the guy died. So I got to reverse engineer it. I went around, and this is where it gets interesting. I collected all of the different libraries that it had. One of the libraries is just like UI elements, like a calendar, clock, that sort of thing. And the copyright date on it, 2004. Company, I could not get a contact for. It looked like they still existed. I ended up having to also go into that library and like remove the code that was the DRM on the library because it was asking for a license key, put it back together so that this company could have their program to do what they need to do with it. And it was an interesting learning experience. I'm glad I was able to get it done, but I think technically what I did was illegal.
Yeah, those are the most fun.
It was pretty fun, and I was the only one at my work as an intern that was able to do that apparently. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
keep doing this.
I plan to. Also, pleasure to meet you. I've been watching your videos since middle school, and just keep it up. I watch every time you upload, pretty much.
Thank you so much. Keep cracking things.
Thank you.
I got a car thing for you.
Sure, go for it.
All right, so I got a 08 Chevy Suburban. Recently, I bought it used. I buy older cars because I don't like the new stuff they're putting in them. It's not a product I want to buy. I believe in vote in your wallet, grow with your wallet. It got an airbag light. I can't diagnose it. It's not an OBD2 code that comes up. It's a CAN bus code. Chevy's the only one that's got the parts or the tools to be able to do that. I go to the dealership. Exactly. I go to the dealership, and the first two told me, "Hey, we can't service that. It's older than a 2016 model year." So I bought the truck because I live about 2.5 hours away from here. I like to come to Atlanta with my buddies, carpool, right? It's got room for me, 6 other people. I will fill those seats. But now I have to wonder, right, is the airbag going to go off if I get into an accident? Finally, on the third dealership, I asked them, I was like, hey, can you just diagnose it? Tell me what the part is. I can probably find a junkyard part. Like, maybe it'll work, maybe it'll work, maybe, I don't know. They charged me $300 to diagnose it. Turns out it's the front impact sensor. $300 to install the part. I didn't have the time to install it myself at the time or even source the part, but $300 to already have the truck there. Screw it, I guess 300 more bucks, whatever. Just fix it, I need the truck back. But that sucks, like I can't access the CAN bus, I don't have the tools to be able to do that. If I want to, I have to use like third-party tools to do it. There's no documentation for it. It sucks. But anyways, I've been watching your videos for a while. It's great to finally meet you. No, you're good, but thank you.
Yeah, keep fighting the good fight. That's all I wanted to say, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being in Atlanta.
Also, if I could also get a picture, that would be pretty cool.
Do you have anything? Oh, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Would I be able to also get a picture? Go for it. Can you take this one for me? Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming by. Hope you have a great night. You too. Hello. Pleasure to meet you. Lewis. Lewis.
I'm Rachel. Nice to meet you.
I'm Grayson. Pleasure.
I'm in
My apron so I can support you, but I don't have it. I think you got it. I don't know where it's at. So I had to wear something.
Talking to you to volunteer?
Well, those two gentlemen over there, yeah, I got a couple. There were two young men over there who are from Georgia Tech, and they're interested. And I talked to another young man. He's actually going to be attending UGA, and I got his information. You know, if that's an Athens. So I'm gonna talk to him about getting Athens.
Well, I found my patches, not those iron
Good.
ones. I have real patches.
Did you? I mean, yeah, you had the big ones. Like, how many?
I got real ones.
Okay, good.
I got real ones.
I need some swag because I can't. I don't. This is all I got to redo.
No, that's great.
We need shirts for Atlanta.
I know. I got aprons.
Yeah.
I bought everybody aprons.
Yeah.
Apron.
Yeah. Because I thought I had, but you must have taken those back because I don't have it.
I have a ton. You can have
Okay, good. Because I was like, I don't even have an apron that I can wear today. I was gonna wear an apron. I was like, well, gotta wear my Athens shirt. So.
Where? I need to get water before I walk by again. Hello, sorry man, this way.
Great to meet you. I have a ThinkPad P50 that I want you to sign.
I love this thing. This is what I did all my first original legislative live streams from this laptop.
I know. Wait, that's actually awesome. I would die to have Lewis sign those. Oh, I should have. That's sick.
It is truly impossible to kill this. I dropped this device off of a ladder. I was installing cameras in my house. It dropped off of like a 17-foot ladder. It was still on, and the hinge wasn't even broken.
Back when they made computers that last.
You cannot kill this. She has a Lenovo, but she has a newer one that she kills constantly. But she would kill even this one.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Tired.
Thank you.
Packing?
Yeah, I already started packing.
Packing.
Let's pack.
Turning on.
Oh, goodness.
All right. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. Once I figure out how to climb up there, I'll be turning off the recording and the stream.
They're scoring standard similar to what they use. So, right in you and they have a thing you look at the box and it says 7 out of 10. This is how repairable your device is. In order to do that, I fix it as part of partnering with the National Science Foundation to set up the standard. And we're building